Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I wanted to share some of my thoughts that I have about my Commonplace book and to show how I've been using it so far. Hope you enjoy. I do have a set up video for this book on my channel already, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. It is housed in my Gillio Appunto in the size B6 in the color dark brown, and the notebook inside is a Stalogy B6. My Commonplace book is where I am planning to house all kinds of things that I come across that I want to catalog. So it could be a quote that I find really intriguing or inspiring. It can be writing advice that I come across, ideas or topic, things like that that I want to look more into, or that I want to research, or that I have research for and I want to have it compiled in this book. I'm still working through all of the types of information that I want to have in here, but that's sort of what I've worked through so far. I also toyed around with the idea of having vocabulary in here because I come across a lot of words in books that I'm reading that I want to look further into or that I want to find the definitions for. However, I don't know if I want to do that anymore because I do come across a lot of such words. So I think it might warrant having a completely separate book strictly for those words that I come across. I'll show you what I have been doing so far. I did a little bit of research before I set up my Commonplace book so that I can get some inspiration, kind of see how other people have theirs set up, get some ideas about how I might want to set mine up. And I came across a YouTube creator that had a contents page and an indexing system that to me made a lot of sense. So I've implemented my version of that into this book, and I will look for her video, and if I find it, I'll link it in the description box. But this is how I've set mine up. So I have a contents page in the front where I list out the entries. It's just in the order of their appearance so that I can have just a glance at what is there. And I was afraid to, well, maybe afraid is not the word, but I just was a little hesitant to include it in the actual book, only because I know that sometimes I change my mind. I might not want to stick with this system. So for now, I just have it in there temporarily taped in so that I can, you know, take some time to get used to the system. And if I decide that yes, I want to keep this contents page, I can add it in a more permanent way. However, I just realized that I only left myself, like, inside of the book, one page for the contents if I do decide to migrate it in permanently, but I can find a way to fix that, I'm sure. So after my temporary contents page, I come to the blank page that I've left, and then my first page of entries. So for example, on my first page, I have a bit of writing advice that I came across, and I thought that it could be very helpful for me in the future when I decide to start taking writing seriously. You know, I know that that's something that I'll be interested in, but I'm not quite ready to do anything with that advice for now. So I've put it in my book so that I can come back to it and refer to it later. And I've got underneath that a bit of advice about starting a business, which is something that, you know, I can see myself having an interest in later on down the road. But again, not ready to do anything with that information right now, but I figured that this is a good place to just compile all of these things that I come across now so that when I'm ready to use them, I can just come back here. I've also got things in here, like, I guess a lot of these are quotes. This one is a mixture of a quote and writing advice and inspiration. So this one has a lot going on, but just things like that, okay? And I have lots of things that maybe I've saved in my phone or that I have bookmarks for on my web browser. So I have things collected everywhere that, you know, my idea is to just add them all in here so that I can have all of those together in one place. So all of those entries that I've made, I've added to the contents page in the order that they appear with their corresponding page number. Now, some of these entries can have a number of different topics, okay? Like this one is writing advice. It's also inspiration. Some of these are about travel. Some of these are you know, pieces of advice like I was mentioning. So that's where the index comes in, where I can index these entries based on their subjects. So for example, this piece of writing advice, I have it categorized back here as yeah, this is, I didn't secure that in there. This is categorized under writing, so I have it in the W section for writing, and I have the page number. It's on page 1, and also I have it, I believe I also have it under the name of the person who made the quote. Well, I need to if I haven't already. Okay, by Tananarive Dew, I need to add her in here. So because what if one day I want to look to see, like if I know, I remember I have something in here that was from Tananarive Dew, like I can come to my index and remind myself, oh yeah, there was something from her on page 2. Oh, maybe that was page 1. So I'll just go to my D section and log it under Dew, comma, Tananarive, but I don't have that much space, so I'm just gonna abbreviate it or shorten it. And then I'll say that I have something from her on page 1. That's an example of an entry that can encompass multiple subjects. One subject being the name of the person who that advice is from, and then the other subject being the fact that it's writing advice. So that is that item. Let's say that I want to work on a project that is related to travel, and I want to maybe incorporate a quote about travel. I can come to my index because I know I have some things in here related to travel, and so I can come to travel and look and see, okay, I have something travel related on page 3, and then I can just navigate to page 3 and find actually I have 2 things related to travel on this page. So yeah, I've got this other quote that's about just creativity, and I've got that under creating in the index. So just things like that. I really enjoyed that indexing system when I came across it on that YouTube video. So I tried my hand at implementing it, and I think that it's gonna go well. If I do decide to keep going with this system, then I will add these index sections more permanently inside of the notebook, but I just was hesitant to do it in a more permanent way before I knew how it would work for me. That's why these pages are just hanging out here in the back and in the front like that. But you might have noticed that I also have these blank sections kind of to the left of the entries, and that's because I wanted to leave open the possibility to have some sort of color coding system. So let's say I want to have all of the quotes color coded in one, like, and let's see, I actually made a little legend just in case. So when I put this together, I had in mind that quotes would be this pink color. So if I wanted to put a little indicator that this item is a quote or whatever, you know, I could have the space on the left for that. And I don't know if I'm gonna go through with that, but just in case I do, that's what this is for. So yeah, that is my plan for my Commonplace book, and that's how I've been using it so far. We'll see. I know that there's room for things to change, and I'm always open to that. But so far, I'm liking how that goes. Now, this is the notebook that I have in mind, at least for now, for keeping track of the words that I come across in my reading that I want to look up the meanings to. This is an A6 size MD notebook by Midori. But yeah, I think it's a nice size, and I think it's good for that purpose, but we'll see. Not quite sure about that just yet, but yeah. Okay, this has just been a really quick talk through of my plans for my Commonplace book and how I've been using it so far. So I'll have to see how it progresses. That'll be all for now, but thank you so much again for stopping by, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.